Hello. This reading is from Mystery. And if you happen to tune in while I'm in the process of this reading, I don't stop and chat once I've started reading. So uh, this discussion does happen to occur. Maybe I'll respond to that later. Uh, so this reading is for Mystery, and Mystery had several questions about spirituality. And so I'm using the three decks from Shirley Harnish that I just love, and they're all fractal art, and these are just absolutely stunning cards. And if you don't know anything about fractal art, it's going to be very difficult to see. Uh, this is actually a geometric thing. It's created from equations, and so these have from 5 to 500 different equations to create this art. And Shirley Harnish, the author of these cards, uh, did all of the artwork and authored the cards as well. So this is a really, I love these decks, and because your questions are regarding spirituality and the growth of your spiritual nature, these are perfect cards for that. So I'm really excited to be using them for this reading today. So your first question, and I had to write them down so that I wouldn't forget. Your first question is, what is my relationship with the spirit world? And to answer this question, I use the Path of the Soul deck. And the Path of the Soul deck focuses specifically on that. And since you were asking about what your role is in this and where this is, I thought this is the perfect deck for this. So because the shuffling takes a while, I always shuffle until the cards don't shuffle easily anymore. And when I go to shuffle and they don't do it, then I know that I'm done. I cut cards and I drop. So I have already drawn them for you, but I just went through, and each deck I asked each question as I shuffled. I have also asked for grace, clarity, compassion, and objectivity during this reading, and that only angel guides and spirits of the highest vibration answer through the cards and through the pendulum if I decide to use it. And I ask also for permission to begin. I ask that I have a message here that will resonate with you, and hopefully that you'll get some answers to your questions. So your first question, what is your relationship to spirit? And the first card, I took my glasses off so that there's not so much glare, and that's just not so much fun. But the first card is, it's going to be so hard for you to see these. I'll take pictures for these later and send them to you. But your first card is Awakening. And this is a really exciting card, because what this means is that you are in the process of an awakening now. That you are moving towards ascension and starting to combine your physical will and your spiritual will is coming through. And you're beginning to realize that you do have a higher purpose. Now, when awakening shows up, it means that you've already been in that process, and that you are coming into a new understanding. And your question was specifically, what is my relationship with the spirit world? Now, because we get awakening, what this card is suggesting is that your relationship is in the process of strengthening. And this is an exciting card. And I want to read to you just a little bit of what the book says. It says, this card expresses creative energy and self-empowerment. It signifies a deeper inner awakening to previously unseen inner abilities, powers, and gifts. So your relationship to spirit with this card is communication and an actual being able to sense, feel, communicate with and through. And they also will be able, from the other side, that veil is very thin, will be able to communicate through you. So you're coming into a place of greater understanding, and realizing and recognizing new gifts that maybe that you're not even aware of yet. Now, the second card that you got is, if you can see it, this card is about work. Now, what's fun about this is talking about you taking your physical work and your spiritual gifts and combining them, which means you are going to be using your spiritual gifts to affect, teach, help other people in every aspect of your life, not just when you do readings, not just at work. How people respond to you, listen to you, hear you, how you affect them, how you share messages with them, and through your gifts, through the spiritual gifts that you possess, even the ones that you don't know about yet, are going to kind of merge. This means that you're going to be touching people in every way, and you're being asked to combine your spiritual gifts with your physical work. So what you do on a daily basis, you are always going to be sharing messages and sharing your gifts with other people. And this is a very exciting thing. So from the standpoint of your question, what is your relationship with the spirit world? It's that you are a conduit, you are a messenger, and you have been given gifts, and you have come to this earth not just to experience life, but to affect it. And that's a very cool thing. Now, the third card, because 3 cards fell out, which is how I happened to do it this time, you got Path of the Soul. And this card is a bit of a confirmation card. When you look at this card, the path looks like you are moving up. You're moving up. And this card does a couple of things. One of the things is to tell you that you are on the right track, that you are designed and created in here because you're here to affect life, not just experience it, that you are moving forward and upward towards your higher self. You are in that path right now. Now, what you need to know about that is very often when we are going through an awakening, it can be a little uncomfortable because we start feeling like we're being tested. And that's kind of what's happening, because there's a certain amount of faith that's required and belief in yourself. When I look at the 3 of these cards together, spiritual gifts are much more than just reading cards. There's when you are here to affect life versus just experience it. There's going to be more than just reading cards. You're going to have that deep inner knowing. You are here to help other people find their spiritual, your destiny. So in general, so the question is, what is my relationship with the spirit world? You are a direct conduit and messenger from the spirit world between you're like the mediator between, you're the one, because you are sensitive to the energy, because you have these special gifts. You've been given these gifts to aid people who have not discovered their own gifts, or perhaps aren't sensitive to the energy, or are here for other reasons. And then there are people who experience life, and you're here to assist them on the way. So your relationship with the spirit world is a very close relationship, because you're here to do the work on a spiritual plane in the physical world. So that's a very exciting thing. With that comes some responsibility. And the responsibility that comes along with that happens to go along with your next question. And your next question is, how can I continue to grow spiritually? Well, I decided to use the Divine Guidance deck for this. And the Divine Guidance deck it's a little bit that's the back. This is the front. Also fractal art, very, very beautiful cards. And again, as I was shuffling, I had 3 cards pop out of the deck or flip for you. And the first one, that you got. This is, I'm going to take pictures of these and send them to you because you can't see with the glare and the light and all that. So I will take pictures. But this card is about cellular healing. Now, with the idea that your question was, how can I continue to grow spiritually? And then you get the cellular healing card. Cellular healing is all about healing all the way from the inside out. This is healing on a cellular level. This is healing from past traumas from this life, even things that maybe you think you have let go of and gone, even old karmic healing that needs to be done, even from previous lives and ancestors. This is all about letting go of the lessons that no longer serve you. And you can keep those things that are important, but letting go of genuine forgiveness. And by the way, you'll hear people say all the time, I forgive, but I never forget. And I am here to tell you, especially as a spirit worker, as a light worker, as a star seed, which you are, is there's no such thing as forgiveness without forgetfulness. If you have not forgotten, you have not forgiven. And there are people who will argue that. There are people who say, nope, that's not true. It is absolutely true. It's okay to remember the lesson, but if you have not forgotten how you learned the lesson, if it doesn't feel like just like an inner knowing of something that you have not fully let go. And cellular healing is about letting go of those things that no longer serve you and allowing those things to pass out. Let that energy go so that you have room for more of that light and positive energy that needs to come into your life. So, to answer the first response to your question, and again, I like to repeat these questions, is how can I continue to grow spiritually, is to be aware of and an active participant in your own healing. And healing all the way to your core. And allowing, you have to be open to this healing. You have to be open to letting go of things that no longer serve you. And the way to know really what kind of things maybe you still may be holding on to is, what are your triggers? What tries your patience? What makes you angry? What gets a rise out of you? Those are the things you need to visit. What is it about, if there's, if you meet people and there's things about them that just drives you crazy, you need to investigate that and see how you've done that and ask for forgiveness for when you've done that to someone else. And it's also about, with forgiveness, it's not just about forgiving other people, it's about forgiving yourself as well, and recognizing that, things that you need to forgive yourself for, especially those things in the past, those things, you were doing your best at the time. And if those situations were to repeat themselves, you would respond differently because you're in a different place now. So recognize that, you can't undo what was undone, but you can forgive yourself, learn from that, and move forward. So cellular healing and forgiveness and being open to healing and letting go of what no longer serves you is very, very important. Now, your next card is New Direction. And I thought this was a very interesting card to go to combine with your cellular healing card. And the reason this is such an interesting combination to me is because when we let go of what no longer serves us, we open ourselves up to new learning, new experiences, new opportunities. So with New Direction, it says, this means that your life you are ready to move forward in a new direction. And as it relates to your question specifically, it means you are ready to take on the work that's coming for you. And you are ready to be open to the responsibility that comes with being a light worker. And I thought that was very fun. And it's so it's asking you to allow room for you to manifest these new ideas and new ways for you to exercise your spiritual gifts to help other people. And then the third card that you got, and this one is freedom. This is all about coming out of your shell, living your life even more authentically, being loud and proud about that, using your gifts, being ready and willing to use your gifts on the regular, to be open to the new experiences that are going to be coming to you. And what's the way this is going to help you, and if you notice this card, it looks like a shell. It's about coming out of your shell and you recognizing who you are and what your role is in this life. And your role in this life is to assist people, to affect life, to help other people move forward. And you've already had a taste of this, especially with reading cards, when talking to people, that deep inner knowing, that follow your instincts. This card says you are ready for the next thing. And remember, you got that card of ascension in the first three cards. So the message here is actually quite clear. The message here is quite clear that what you need to do is you need to be open. You need to let go of past hurts. You need to be combining your physical work with your spiritual work. You need to be essentially fearless and allow yourself to move about and allow yourself to use your spiritual gifts on a regular basis. And so that is essentially how you're going to that's how you're going to continue to grow spiritually, is by using those gifts. And that's a very exciting thing as well. So now your third question was, how can I improve my understanding and continue to develop and grow my spiritual gifts? And some of those questions were actually answered in those last three cards. However, that being said, I still pulled 3 extra cards for you. And this was from the Return of Spirit deck, so the third deck. And the first card that you got is Manifest. And look at that beautiful card, beautiful colors in there. Very difficult to see on here. I'll send you pictures. So manifest. What this means is you are in the perfect position now for you to manifest whatever you need. You've done the work. You have